Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Guile here, and welcome back to our coverage of the Spring Invitational Grand Finals between Nexus and Tagada. This is Game 7, ladies and gentlemen, the final game in the series. If you haven't seen the preceding 6, please go and check those out, because today's game will contain spoilers. You can find them in the upload section. It's the preceding 6 casts that I've done on the channel, so just head there and you really can't miss it. Then come straight back, because you aren't going to want to miss this. It is 3 games apiece. This is the deciding game to see who takes home that $225 prize and the title of Spring Invitational Champion for 2021. Tagada won yesterday in what was just a stunning, overwhelming display of Seraphim power with awesome, but it must have been the most impressive drop I've seen probably sometime, certainly in a tournament. Right onto the doorstep of Nexus's main base, took out all his power and then finished things off a few minutes later with an Ethota to the face. It really was highly entertaining, and now Nexus has to overcome that disappointment to try and close things out if he's going to take home the title. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. It's going to go down on a generated map, so it's a unique map for a unique final game. I'm ready, you guys are ready, and the players are sure as hell ready, so let's go over to the game zone and see how they're going to get on. Ching. Ka-ching, instant loading. It's going to be a good one. Let's check out our players up here at the top in his customary fabulous vivacious violet as he gates in. It's Nexus pulling an Aeon for the first time in this championship. We haven't seen anyone actually in this final match end up with the Aeon tag, not Tagada or Nexus. So a little bit of a gamble, but I mean, I guess these guys are play so much of everything, it really isn't too much of a gamble for him. But anyway, here he is. He's opening first land, and his opponent down here at the bottom is Tagada, of course, in his customary burgundy red, going UEF, opening first land. And as a play, it must be something that he feels pretty safe with. Tagada yet to lose a game in this series as UEF, so we'll see how things pan out for him as they get their first starting buildings up and running. Both of these guys going land factory and then getting the commander to build all of the core mass. First engineer off the belt goes straight for the hydro, and then they're going to throw down, in the case of Nexus, what looks to be 4 T1 P-gens. Tagada is going to queue up 6, and then he's going to go second air, maybe? Yeah, by the looks of things, that's hard to tell. It might be second land, third air, but he's got an air factory in there. Tagada looking to be aggressive, though. Excuse me, has already put out a couple of mech marines and a snoop. They are heading north with great gusto, taking care, of course, to avoid these civilian encampments, which are equipped with both T1 point defense, and in there we've got some railguns and flak also. So nasty, nasty civilian stations that are going to have to be overwhelmed and taken out. Nexus completing the hydro, getting to work on those T1 P-gens. There goes the build queue for the air factory. Where are those mech marines traveling? They are pushing right up through the middle. They're going to go into the backfield. Well, they're going to stop here. There you can see there's a line where we're going to get an engineer traveling up to that position. There is an engineer in the backfield up here working on the 3 mexes over there. I'm wondering if that wouldn't be a sensible place to move to for Tagada. But 2 early labs. This is aggressive from Tagada. He really wants to make his mark here on this game. He was pretty aggressive in the previous game. It seemed to work out well for him. Snoop gets a read on the engineer. He dispatches at least 1 mech marine to intercept. The engineer goes in to try and reclaim. Isn't going to manage it. And that will be a denial, at least to prevent that 3rd mech from going online. Nexus manages to grab the first 2, but he's also produced a flare of his own. So he's moving in to intercept with some lab play. Unfortunately for Tagada, he hasn't stationed the 2 mech marines next to each other. So that allows the flare to get a drop on him and take out that other mech marine. But he's still got 1 lying in wait, moving out further to the east. And Tagada now working on his 3rd land factory. Sorry, Nexus now working on his 3rd land factory. Tagada also working on his down here on the right screen. Scout plane flies past for Nexus as he gets a read on just about everything. Tagada has yet to complete an aircraft. There goes the first one. Interceptor wangling its way off towards that air scout. Didn't get a chance to get the attack off. There it is. One shot is all that was needed. Down goes that little drone. And now we're going to see some kind of lab counter-attack as that flare, might be another flare actually, that hasn't got any kills to it, pushing out further towards the east. And the Spirit just unloading on that plasma cannon at range, doing, well, quite frankly, what looks like less than 2 DPS. Some strikers over here. Don't drift too close to the PD though, Tagada. Loses one tank, then they drift northwards. That second tank loses about half of its health. We have Auroras stationed here, ready to defend the main base. Snoop gets gunned down, and that group of Auroras has a Spirit with it, so he's well aware of this threat as well. Spirit does go down, but they've got the read on the tanks, and of course the Auroras have an advantage in range, but they're not pursuing. Interesting. I'm going to let those two get away, I guess because they know they're heading up to the top left hand corner, and the engineer up here is currently finishing up on the wall sections around a T1 PD, so that is perfectly well defended. Nexus seemingly with everything under control, or is he going to drift too close to the T1 point defense? Nope. Going to give it a wide enough berth. And that flare with 3 kills to its name now, pretty badly damaged on 25 hit points, trying to make its way to somewhere sensitive, kill off a couple of engineers. Both these players now drawing out their commanders away from their main bases. Tagada looking to march in on this base. He already has Lobos softening it up. He's taken out all of the point defense now. He can move in with his comm and finish it all off and reclaim the residue. Some nice micro from Nexus, keeping those Auroras at arm's length from Tagada's forces. Lobos almost managing to bag themselves an Aurora there, but Nexus being very aggressive with his commander, marching right down here to this little river thing. And I mean, maybe at the deepest points there might be enough depth to conceal a commander in, but it's hard to tell. That's not a given. Quite large group of units down here. Where are we standing eco-wise? Nexus with a might be a 1k advantage. He's slightly behind in generated eco, but he's about at 960 mass advantage, I guess, overall in total. Now, strikers and Auroras getting into it. Nice right turn from Tagada, saves that lead striker. But he is going to lose the engineer and the mechs over to the west. One mech marine lying in wait with 1 kill to his name, just guarding that mechs. 7 minutes down. Lobo and strikers outmatched, getting chased down by Auroras. Let's do a quick unit count of mainline tanks. 44 Auroras on the field there for Nexus. Tagada at 33 strikers, so he's off the pace somewhat, but he has got Lobos on the field. What are we looking at for those? We've got 11 on the field, 11 artillery pieces on the field there for Tagada. We do have some but only 4 on the field for Nexus. So that's where the discrepancy between these two guys lies. Aurora's steaming into this western civilian base. Going to lose 1 or 2 tanks here. Manages to kill that point defense, though, because he's got so many tanks. There is another point defense up here. But there is a massive body of UEF force moving in on their position, and it's got a mongoose in there as well. So Tagada has transitioned to T2. Are we at T2 for the Aeon? Yes, we are, but he's gone T2 Air. Interesting. And he's starting to produce gunships. So Nexus with the switch. T2 engineers hurriedly produced a T2 P-Gen to keep up with the power production needs of Tech 2 air production. We now have gunships out, or a gunship out. How important will that be? Gun upgrade now started for Nexus. He's got 1 already on there, so we're going to get a bit of a sniper comm. So we're going to have a Tech 2 advantage in the air for Nexus, and that comm is going to look very dangerous indeed. Tagada's already got the Zeph Amp on board, his commander, and he's moving westwards with it. So it looks like he's coming to make a stand over in the west. Spectre with its massive alpha strike now just stomping around looking for vulnerable mexes to pick off. Another one out in the west now. Doesn't want to fly over the flak. Oh, it's an unnecessary casualty. Gets himself shot down. Minor lapse in concentration there. But Nexus, having completed that second gun upgrade now, looking to terrorize Tagada's main ground forces. Tagada, though, bearing down on this commander with his own comm. How are we doing on interceptor numbers now? Well, we've got 15 inties for Nexus, but we've also got 6 swift winds. Tagada, his defending forces, 25 Tech 1 interceptors. Oh, don't fly your gunship in first, Nexus. No, gets it shot down. Provokes an encounter with Nexus's air force. That should go better for Nexus with the inclusion of Tech 2 fighters in there. And indeed it has. So now the gunships will be even more dangerous. We don't have much flak in the area. We've got 1 skyboxer there. We do have a parashield helping to protect that commander. Nexus has dropped all the way back over here with his comm. Hasn't got anything in the way of Tech 2 ground yet, of course, but he has got the upgraded commander. I'm not sure how well this is going to go for Tagada now. I like Nexus's transition to T2 Air. But Tagada is making some advances over in the east. Gunships trying to contend with those. Spectres, of course, with their massive alpha strike, not the greatest counter to T1 spam. Much better for tankier, higher value units. 12, nearly 13 minutes gone. Pretty neck and neck in mass. Nexus maybe with an advantage in generated eco of about 6 mass per tick. He's up about 1,000 mass overall. But it's the ability to come and go where he pleases now with these gunships, which is going to be the major issue for Tagada, and it's forcing Tagada to try and make it pay for him on the ground where he has the advantage. Has to be really careful. Nexus, of course, has that extra upgrade on the comm. Advancing forward, Tagada now with his spam, with everything. Are we going to see the gunships move in to prioritize Tagada's commander? I don't know. Nexus down to 8,000 hit points, but all of his forces are surrounded by vast numbers of Auroras here. Nexus absorbing fire. Below 6,000 hit points now, but everything is focusing Tagada, and he is getting burned down. And Tagada is going to go out. Can he make the draw? No, he can't. Nexus survives with a snifter under 4,000 hit points and takes the game and the title in 14 minutes. And there was really nothing else he could do there. I think he was forced into making that move, into trying to at least grab the draw, because Nexus wasn't going to yield the air game. He was going to hem Tagada into his main base. He was going to pick off everything. You could see he was trying to get some skyboxes in the mix and position them in various places, but there just wasn't the time or the eco to do that comprehensively, and I think that was only going to end up one way. Very good call from Nexus, moving in that position. A short one to end out what was a brutally hard-fought final overall, but ultimately Nexus manages to triumph 4-3 over Tagada. But what a series. Well played, everybody in that. I hope you enjoyed it, guys. I'll make it an epic for the next cast, so keep sending in the replays if you've got something of that kind of length. I might have one or two already, but I'm always open to more ideas. If you've seen everything, guys, do check out the Patreon if you don't already. It's $1 a month. We're up to some 23 casts, so go and check that out, guys. All support is very gratefully received. But until next time, stay well and stay safe. This is Guile, signing out.